Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the Gates channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and hit like for more daily drama updates and spoilers. Your support truly means a lot and helps our channel grow every day. Now let's jump straight into today's exciting update. The devastating aftermath of the tornado has left Fairmont Crest standing on the edge of heartbreak, and as the dust slowly settles, a series of life-changing decisions threatens to reshape the futures of nearly everyone caught in the storm. Emotions are running higher than ever as families struggle to survive unimaginable tragedies. Long-buried resentments erupt to the surface, and impossible choices force people to confront who they truly are. This week promises powerful confrontations, painful sacrifices, shocking betrayals, and moments that could forever redefine relationships that once seemed unbreakable. At the center of it all stands one heartbreaking question that refuses to go away. How far is someone willing to go to save a life when that life belongs to the person they hate the most? Every answer carries consequences, and every decision made in the coming days may leave scars that never fully heal. As tensions continue to rise and hope grows thinner with every passing hour, the story is preparing to deliver one emotional blow after another. The first prediction centers around Kat Richardson, whose heart may soon become the battleground between resentment and compassion. Eva Thomas is fighting for her life after suffering devastating injuries, and according to the latest developments, emergency surgery alone will not be enough to save her. Doctors reveal that Eva desperately needs a transplant, and without one, her chances of survival grow slimmer by the minute. Inside the hospital, fear hangs heavily in the air as Kat arrives alongside Thomas Navarro, searching desperately for updates while emotions spiral out of control. Dr. Ted Richardson delivers the crushing truth directly to Leslie Thomas, explaining that Eva will die unless a suitable donor can be found. Those words hit Leslie with overwhelming force, causing her to completely break down as the terrifying reality sinks in. Nearby, Isaiah Hawthorne is equally devastated, unable to hide the anguish written across his face as he watches someone he loves slip further away. As the week unfolds, the emotional pressure surrounding Kat only continues to intensify. Ted tries to comfort his daughter while quietly carrying the enormous burden of knowing that one heartbreaking decision could determine whether Eva lives or dies. Before long, he makes the desperate request that no father ever wants to make, pleading with Kat to undergo testing to see if she could be Eva's donor match. Yet Kat immediately recoils from the idea, making it painfully clear that she has absolutely no desire to help the young woman whose existence has caused so much pain within her family. Fueled by years of anger and betrayal, she openly admits she does not even want to be a match before walking away from Ted, leaving him standing there with nothing but heartbreak in his eyes. The weight of her refusal lingers heavily, creating an emotional divide that feels almost impossible to bridge. Time, however, refuses to wait for anyone. As Thursday arrives, spoilers indicate that someone in critical condition is rapidly running out of precious moments, and every second becomes increasingly valuable. While Chelsea Hamilton offers support and guidance to her cousin during this emotional crisis, Carlton Fitzgerald alerts Nicole Dupree Richardson to an urgent matter demanding her immediate attention. At the same time, Andre Richardson reaches out to comfort Isaiah, recognizing that sometimes words cannot erase pain, but simply knowing someone is there can make all the difference. By Friday, Anita Dupree steps forward with heartfelt advice for her granddaughter, hoping her wisdom can help Kat find clarity before it is too late. Meanwhile, Kat receives information capable of changing her life forever, and the Hawthorne family gathers together, united in support of one of their own during what may become the darkest chapter they have ever faced. Everything seems to point toward one unavoidable conclusion. Despite her resistance and despite desperately wishing Eva would simply disappear from her life forever, Kat ultimately agrees to undergo the compatibility testing. Deep down, she cannot completely ignore her father's desperate plea, even if every instinct inside her tells her to walk away. The prediction suggests that Kat will indeed prove to be the perfect donor match, creating an agonizing emotional dilemma unlike anything she has ever faced before. On one side stands years of bitterness toward both Eva and Leslie, whose actions shattered the stability of her family and left wounds that still have not healed. On the other side lies the undeniable truth that refusing to donate could directly lead to another person's death. It is a burden that no amount of anger can make easier to carry. Even after learning she is the match Ava desperately needs, Kat's internal conflict is far from over. The decision before her is permanent, and once she donates, there is no taking it back. Tomas Navarro is expected to encourage her to think carefully before making a choice she cannot undo, reminding her that if Ava dies because she refused, there will never be another opportunity to change her mind. The emotional weight of those words could linger inside Kat long after the conversation ends. She also understands something equally painful. Ted would be utterly devastated if Eva died when Kat had the power to save her. That realization alone may become impossible to ignore, even if her heart still struggles to forgive. Yet another cruel truth complicates everything. If Ava were gone, Kat would never have to worry about sharing her father's love or attention again, a painful insecurity that has fueled much of her resentment ever since learning the truth about their family. In many ways, Eva's disappearance would solve the emotional problem Kat has been wrestling with ever since discovering she had a sister she never wanted. That ugly temptation may quietly whisper in the back of her mind, making the decision even more emotionally exhausting. Meanwhile, Leslie could explode with fury if she learns that Kat is the one compatible donor capable of saving Eva's life, but is refusing to move forward. Such a revelation would undoubtedly ignite another emotional confrontation, one fueled by desperation, fear, and years of accumulated resentment. While Eva's fate hangs precariously in the balance, another devastating medical emergency begins unfolding elsewhere. The second prediction focuses on Martin Richardson, whose condition after the tornado appears far more serious than anyone initially realized. In the chaotic aftermath of the disaster, Shanice, Ashley, and Jacob rush into action when Martin suddenly collapses, sending everyone around him into a panic. Nicole immediately reaches out to Samantha Richardson and Tyrell Richardson, attempting to keep them informed while struggling to remain composed herself. The situation grows increasingly alarming as doctors work frantically behind the scenes, leaving family members with little to do except pray for good news. Unfortunately, the updates arriving over the following days suggest that hope may be slipping away. Tuesday brings devastating information for both the Richardson and Smith families, strongly suggesting Martin has suffered catastrophic injuries during the storm. Whether those injuries involve a severe crush injury, a traumatic brain injury, or something equally life-threatening remains uncertain, but the outlook appears frighteningly serious. While Eva continues fighting for survival as she waits for a transplant, Martin may find himself trapped in an entirely different battle, one where his body simply refuses to respond. It is entirely possible that viewers will see him lying unconscious, surrounded by worried loved ones who can do nothing except wait for signs of improvement. Every passing hour becomes an agonizing reminder that medicine cannot always provide immediate answers. Sometimes the only option left is hope. The emotional implications extend far beyond Martin's physical condition. The spoiler mentioning devastating news for both the Richardsons and the Smiths seems to point more directly toward Martin's injuries than Eva's crisis, suggesting the entire family could soon be forced to confront a painful new reality. Should Martin suffer permanent neurological damage, his promising political career may come to an abrupt and heartbreaking end. Dreams carefully built over years of dedication could disappear in a single tragic moment, replaced by an entirely different future than anyone ever imagined. Such an outcome would fundamentally transform his marriage as well, potentially shifting responsibilities in unexpected ways. Instead of pursuing public office, Martin may find himself becoming a stay-at-home father, while Bradley Smitty Smith takes on the role of primary provider, forcing both men to redefine not only their careers but also the very foundation of their relationship after surviving such unimaginable tragedy. As Martin's loved ones struggle to process the frightening uncertainty surrounding his condition, another emotional storm begins to unfold inside the hospital, where guilt threatens to consume Leslie Thomas completely. The third prediction suggests that Eva's desperate fight for survival may become the defining moment that forces Leslie to confront every terrible choice she has made over the years. After Eva's emergency surgery, Ted Richardson delivers the heartbreaking medical update that no mother is ever prepared to hear. Surgery alone was not enough. Eva now needs a transplant, and without one, there is almost no hope left. Those devastating words shatter Leslie's composure as she collapses into tears, crying out in frustration, fear, and overwhelming helplessness. For perhaps the first time in a very long while, the woman who has spent years manipulating everyone around her finds herself completely powerless. The days that follow only deepen her emotional torment. Wednesday brings an unexpected moment of grace when Shanice extends an olive branch to Leslie, offering compassion instead of judgment during one of the darkest moments of her life. It is a gesture Leslie never expected, especially considering everything she has done to alienate so many people. Yet even as kindness finds its way to her, the spoilers reveal that by Friday, whatever hope Leslie manages to cling to will suddenly be ripped away. That heartbreaking twist promises to transform relief into despair in an instant, leaving her once again staring into the terrifying possibility of losing the only person who has always mattered most to her. Every emotional high seems destined to be followed by an even more devastating fall. The emotional weight of this storyline becomes even more powerful when considering Leslie's own words in the immediate aftermath of the tornado. While Eva remained missing and everyone feared the worst, Leslie confessed to Anita Dupree that perhaps this nightmare was her fault. She wondered if everything happening was karma finally catching up with her after years of lies, manipulation, and selfish decisions. Anita, refusing to let Leslie drown in self-centered guilt, reminded her that natural disasters are not punishments designed around one person's mistakes. The tornado did not happen because of Leslie. Weather does not revolve around her life. Anita's words were meant to pull Leslie back toward reality, but now, with Eva hanging between life and death, those reassurances may no longer be enough to quiet the crushing guilt inside her heart. This time, Leslie may truly believe that her past has finally come due. After everything she has done to Ted Richardson, after relentlessly tormenting Nicole Dupree Richardson, and after turning Kat's world upside down, it almost feels inevitable that someone would eventually pay the price. The cruel irony is almost unbearable. If Kat turns out to be the only compatible donor capable of saving Eva, then Leslie's own actions may have created the very obstacle standing between her daughter and survival. Kat's hatred did not appear out of nowhere. It was born from years of betrayal, deception, and emotional destruction, much of it caused by Leslie herself. Faced with that painful reality, Leslie may finally understand that some consequences cannot simply be talked away. For one brief moment, hope may suddenly return. News that a donor match has finally been found could spread through the hospital like a miracle, lifting the spirits of everyone desperately praying for Eva. Leslie may believe that her nightmare is finally coming to an end, allowing herself to imagine that her daughter has been given another chance at life. But then comes the devastating revelation that changes everything. The donor is Kat Richardson, the very person who has every reason in the world to refuse. In an instant, hope transforms into another form of agony, because now Leslie knows salvation exists, but it rests entirely in the hands of someone who despises both her and Eva. Desperation has a way of breaking down even the strongest walls, and Leslie may soon find herself begging in ways viewers have never seen before. She may bargain with God, promising to become a different person if only Eva is spared. She may plead with Nicole, setting aside years of hostility in exchange for a single chance to save her daughter. She may even humble herself before Kat, swallowing every ounce of pride she has left if it means convincing her to donate. Perhaps she will promise to stop interfering in Ted's life forever. Perhaps she will finally abandon the construction project that has been causing endless frustration for Anita. Maybe she will swear to leave Nicole alone once and for all and end the obsessive behavior that has consumed so much of her life. Whatever promises she makes, they will come from a place of genuine desperation rather than manipulation, creating what could become the closest thing Leslie has ever had to redemption. But redemption may arrive far too late, and its price could ultimately be Eva's life. While one family struggles to survive impossible medical crises, another relationship begins crumbling beneath the weight of devastating betrayal. The fourth prediction turns toward Andre Richardson and Danny Dupree, whose marriage faces its greatest challenge yet after the shocking events inside that stalled elevator. Monday's spoilers reveal Haley Lawson reflecting on the terrifying experience of being trapped during the tornado. Speaking with Bill Hamilton, she admits she would have completely fallen apart if she had been forced to endure such a frightening situation alone, innocently asking how he managed to pass the time while disaster raged outside. The audience, however, already knows the painful truth. Bill did not spend those terrifying moments alone. Instead, he crossed a line that can never be erased by sleeping with his ex-wife, Danny. The emotional consequences begin unfolding almost immediately. Tuesday's spoilers show Danny wrestling with an overwhelming guilty conscience, unable to escape the crushing weight of what happened between herself and Bill. At the same time, Andre speaks to Danny with nothing but compassion, telling her she must have been terrified while trapped inside the elevator during the storm. His concern comes from genuine love, making the truth she is hiding even more heartbreaking. Meanwhile, Vanessa McBride becomes the voice asking the difficult question no one else wants to raise. Is Danny actually going to tell Andre what happened? The silence that follows that question says almost everything. Eventually, Danny confides in Vanessa, admitting the secret she has been carrying since the tornado, but keeping that secret hidden becomes increasingly impossible. Thursday brings another emotionally charged confrontation as Danny finally faces Bill, forcing both former spouses to acknowledge the disastrous consequences of their impulsive decision. By Friday, the situation explodes even further when Andre and Bill come face to face. Every unresolved emotion, every buried resentment, and every painful truth threatens to erupt in what promises to be one of the week's most explosive confrontations. An earlier spoiler hinted that one couple would go to extraordinary lengths during a desperate situation, only to suffer equally extreme consequences afterward. Looking back, it becomes increasingly clear that this prediction was pointing directly at Danny and Bill. Their impulsive intimacy inside the stalled elevator may have served as a desperate distraction from the terrifying uncertainty surrounding them, but once the immediate danger passed, reality returned with devastating force. What seemed like a fleeting emotional escape now threatens to destroy everything Danny has carefully built with Andre. At the same time, Bill's own future with Haley hangs by an increasingly fragile thread. The biggest question now becomes how Andre learns the truth. Will Danny gather enough courage to confess everything herself, accepting responsibility before someone else exposes the affair? Or will Bill, driven by his own emotions, reveal the truth first? Either possibility carries enormous consequences. Bill may even convince himself that what happened inside that elevator was fate, interpreting the experience as a sign that he belongs with Danny instead of Haley. But while Bill may begin dreaming about rekindling an old romance, Danny's heart remains firmly with Andre despite her terrible mistake. Unfortunately, love alone may not be enough to repair the damage. Andre's heartbreak could prove too overwhelming to overcome. Faced with the betrayal of the woman he trusted most, He may decide that remaining under the same roof is simply impossible. The prediction suggests he could walk away from the marriage entirely, returning to the apartment he has continued keeping as a backup. His departure would leave Danny devastated, forced to confront the painful reality that one impulsive decision has shattered the stability of the life she cherished. At the same time, Haley's own reaction remains a frightening wild card. If Bill's betrayal pushes her beyond her emotional limits, she may reach a breaking point of her own. The possibility that Haley could decide to poison Bill's bourbon serves as a chilling reminder that betrayal often creates consequences far darker than anyone expects. As if the week were not already overflowing with emotional turmoil, the fifth and final prediction introduces an entirely different kind of danger, one wrapped in a friendly smile but hiding deadly intentions beneath the surface. Tuesday's spoilers reveal that Joey's sister finally arrives for a visit, marking Heather Armstrong's official entrance into the unfolding drama. For Vanessa McBride, the news initially seems like something worth celebrating. She genuinely cares about Joey and wants him to have family close by, believing their reunion can only strengthen the people she loves. What Vanessa does not know, however, is that Joey has deliberately kept one terrifying secret from her. He never warned her that Heather is far more than an ordinary sister. She is known as the Impaler, a woman whose reputation has been built on violence, crime, and ruthless efficiency. Joey understands exactly how dangerous Heather truly is, which is why he has carefully kept his world separated. Unfortunately, Heather has no intention of living quietly or abandoning her criminal lifestyle. In fact, every indication suggests she plans to remain in town, continuing the same dangerous activities that have followed her everywhere she goes. That alone creates a looming threat capable of changing everything. If Heather chooses to approach Vanessa directly, she will almost certainly find someone whose guard is completely down. Vanessa, believing she is simply meeting Joey's younger sister, would likely welcome her warmly without the slightest suspicion. Whether they meet at the apartment, inside the club, or somewhere else entirely, Vanessa would probably invite Heather to sit down, eager to learn more about the family of the man she loves. The encounter would appear perfectly harmless on the surface, but viewers would understand that every smile and every pleasant conversation hides a far more dangerous reality. Vanessa would unknowingly be placing herself within reach of someone capable of extraordinary violence. The truly explosive fallout may arrive once Joey discovers what has happened. Knowing Heather's unpredictable nature, he would almost certainly be furious that she ignored his wishes and inserted herself into Vanessa's life without permission. Joey has gradually accepted parts of the criminal world alongside Vanessa, but there is a clear line he refuses to let her cross. The brutal, bloody, merciless world in which Heather operates is one he has desperately tried to shield Vanessa from. As much as Joey loves his sister, his loyalty has limits. If Heather's actions place Vanessa in danger or threaten the future they are trying to build together, Joey may finally be forced to choose between family and the woman he loves. And if that heartbreaking choice ever comes, it could become the moment that changes all of their lives forever, setting the stage for another unforgettable chapter in Beyond the Gates.